Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Quivs here. Quivs does stuff. Been a while since we've been in Terraria. Only been a while since I've been in Terraria with you guys. I've actually played quite a lot of Terraria already. This new version, I still haven't tried the more creative mode, I guess you would call it. I've already forgot what it's called, Journey or something. I've played the heck out of it just on my own, and I'm well into hard mode. Well, I say well into hard mode. I'm into hard mode and I've started breaking altars. I don't actually know what I'm doing much beyond that, but yeah, we're sort of that far and progressing. And I don't really remember where we were up to in this one either, so I'm going to have a quick look at everything I've got. Okay, it's corruption. I've got tin bars. I've already got an anvil. It's a lead tungsten world. I have a wooden sword. I do have a nice boomerang. That's pretty good. Alright. So no idea what I'm trying to accomplish today. No goals, so to speak. But we'll try and get a little bit further. So, as a result of playing a lot on my own, I have learned a fair bit about how the new one works. Really, again, cannot say how amazing it is that the guys at Realogic are with working with this game. I mean, as a free update, it is spectacular. There's so many new things. A lot of it is the same. Plenty of quality of life improvements. None spring to mind. Maybe when I use them I'll remember what they are, but I know that there was a lot of stuff that's like, wow, that's just easier and better than it used to be. There's not much in the way of new enemies and stuff that I've seen. I mean, there are, but they're few and far between, and they don't really affect the game that much. They're just sort of, you know, here's something that's a little bit different to what it was before, or a new palette, or a new, you know, graphical difference to the previous edition, but it does the same thing. But that being said, you know, those are welcome changes nonetheless. They still add to the game, they make it seem more expansive. The fast travel using NPCs, that is just wonderful. It can be hard to maintain post hard mode, because when the corruption of the Hallow starts to spread, it can very easily and quickly affect biomes. But I haven't tried making artificial biomes to house the NPCs in to see if that solves the problem. So, I don't know, we might give that a go and see if that helps. But yeah, just a really, really awesome continuation of the game that is Terraria. So, I assume that we're about to hit the corruption, because if that was the desert, wouldn't the corruption come next normally? I've got tiger claws now. Could probably go down these. See if there's anything worth looking at down here. Well, it doesn't look like there's anything much looking at down here. I'll have that, because that is, well, at least somewhat worthwhile. Let's cut our way out of this, because it's easier. More desert. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. Ah, there's the corruption. Right. Do I really want to go into the corruption? What good is it going to do me? Not a lot at the moment. It's way too early in the game to have any real effect. Let's see if we can get all the way across. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. That's one of those What are they called? Oh, they are called a devourer. Oh dear, no, gonna die. Probably not gonna get out of this one alive. Do I have thingy potions? I do, screw it. Alright, didn't die, good. Well, that was short. Let's try it the other way, since I don't really know what's this way either, because I can't remember, because it's been too long. Yeah, so there's a few new things. I believe there's new NPCs and stuff as well. I didn't really pay that much attention to what they did. They seem to be more novelty. Things like the... Actually, I forget what she's called, but she's linked to the bestiary. So there is the new bestiary that, you know, shows you all the monsters in the game as you find and fight them, and gives you more information about them. And yeah, so there's one where if you fill in a certain percentage of the bestiary, that causes her to spawn if there's a free house. Were there any other NPCs that I've seen that are new? Don't really remember any others. Another cool thing that I've seen that was new, when you do cause... when you've had your first fight with the Eater of Worlds, whatever the corruption boss is, pre-hard mode, when you have managed to complete that... Oh, come on. There we go. And that is the prerequisite for causing meteors to spawn. When the meteors spawn, you actually see the meteor in the background. I thought that was pretty cool. I must admit, that might actually have happened before the update, but I've never seen it, and it looks cool. So I thought that was a nice little addition. One of the many very simple but excellent quality of life additions. Just makes things look nice, you know, makes you feel like the world is more alive. Not that it felt dead before either, that's the other thing. I mean, this, as awesome as this update is, there are people who would argue that it was not really necessary. I mean, the game is... I've never seen it to be that expensive in the first place, like, even at its initial release after early access. I don't even know if it was in early access. I'm pretty sure I bought it after release. It certainly wasn't expensive. And I'd be willing to bet it's not expensive now. And you get a heck of a lot of game for your money. I think the one thing that puts people off is the 2D. In this modern age, 2D games are just not that common. And I guess some people think, ooh, why would I play a 2D game? I've got a big, expensive 3D graphics card. And I mean, yeah, I've got a big expensive 3D graphics card. But this game is really good. Sometimes gameplay matters. You can have the greatest graphics in the world, and if your game is boring, who's going to want to play it? Ah, the snow biome, that's good. Well, good-ish. There are NPCs that like to live in the snow biome. Again, I forget which ones. I will probably have to refer to the wiki to remember. But yeah, there are NPCs that like the snow biome, and so you have to build a house in the snow biome. Well, you don't actually have to, but for the fast transport convenience, it is well worth housing the NPCs where they prefer to be housed. I don't know whether we're even going to find anything good here. I was really hoping to find some more above ground or on the very edge of above ground stuff. Which you sometimes get lucky and do. So, you know, like there's the really shallow caves or the not quite caves that are just sort of almost thoroughfares to a very slight detour. See, now this is going a bit more underground than I wanted to go. At least for the moment. So we'll leave that for now. Kill these frozen zombies because climb back out of here. That should do. Should give me enough points to jump out with. Yeah. Could stand around killing things all day, or I can get a move on. I will get that star though, because this is not my other single player game where I am really far through. It wasn't actually a single player game to begin with. From the last episode, you may remember I said I did play for a little while with a friend. He never joined me again. I don't know what he's been playing, but yeah, Terraria is something he kind of likes and kind of gets interested in for brief periods every now and again. Haha, that was so worth it. Ah, flippers. Sandcastle bucket's no good, but flipper's good. I'll put that on because I've got no other accessories on at the moment anyway. Flippers let you swim in water, so you can actually swim up rather than jump up or down without ever actually getting out of the water. Has its uses if and when you eventually get to the beach. The ocean, that is. You can go much deeper into the water knowing you can just swim up rather than having to run all the way out to the beach, as you would otherwise have to do. Yeah. Good. Oh wow, I did not even see that zombie. I'm lucky he jumped straight over my head. Could double back for that star, but I'm not going to. Yeah, so if you'd watched my most recent Monster Hunter World video, which, I don't know, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, you'll know that I recently changed to recording audio separately to video now. So these days I'm using OBS to record my video, as opposed to, what was it, Microsoft Game Bar, which is what I initially started this channel with. OBS is good. It gives you more control, I would say. I don't actually know. I don't use any of its major features. You can stream with it. I have the intent of looking into streaming at some point, but it's if this was a Kickstarter, that'd be a stretch goal. So that's a ways down the track, if ever. For now, this is, yeah, more of a video channel only. It's not to say it'll never happen. It's just not something I'm looking into immediately. Oh, what was I talking about? Oh, yes. And then Audacity, which is an excellent free audio authoring and recording program. I basically use it because it is the most recommended one. Like, if you look online, what's the best free audio recording software, pretty much without fail we'll find Audacity. So yeah, So that's what I went with. It is easy to use. I remember back in the day, and when I say back in the day, I mean a long time ago, it used to be a program called Goldwave, was the best free audio authoring software you could get for Windows. It had a limited time free trial. The thing was, the free trial never actually ended. It does what WinRAR does, the equivalent these days. It just, as soon as the free trial's over, it just starts bugging you every time to register. But it never forces you to register or anything. It never disables the looms. Good, we'll need a loom. It never disables the program. It just bugged you. But yeah, so these days it's Audacity, and from what I've seen, I'm sure that it has all the bits and pieces that one needs, but, you know, I need very little of it. The bits I do need are the record button, the play button, the export button, and the fact that it can export to... Well, actually, it probably doesn't matter too much what I export to. For editing software, I use DaVinci Resolve, and DaVinci Resolve has pretty good compatibility with different file formats across the board, so I'm pretty sure I could use whatever format. But yeah, MP3 is the one I'm currently using because, I don't know, it was familiar when I saw it in the menu. Saw it in the menu and went, oh, MP3, I know what MP3 is. I also know what WAV is, WAV. So it's not like that wasn't something that I was expecting to be able to use either, but MP3 is a more compressed format. My understanding is WAV is lossless and as a result quite large file sizes. And yeah, I don't need my audio quality to be that great, which is saying something considering I bought, you know, a really expensive microphone recently for the sake of improving audio quality. But anyway, so yeah, so that is my current method of piecing together videos these days. Record video and game audio, game video and game audio with OBS, record my microphone audio with Audacity, put everything together in DaVinci Resolve, version 16 I think, and then upload to YouTube. It's taken a long time to get here. I had to learn all this stuff. None of this was anything I'd done before. Like, I have friends and things that did media studies and so on at school, but I never did any of that stuff. Maths, chemistry, English, that's me. Admittedly, I did do drama, but I didn't get to do art. I wish I'd done art. I'm good at art. I also didn't do physics, which was a bit of a problem. Physics was always... I don't know, physics wasn't my worst subject, but it became so because I didn't do it at university. Didn't do it at high school. So when I came to do it at university, it became really hard. Oh, the old man, alright, it's pretty close to night, so we can't really talk to him. Go up and over. Let's see what else we find beyond the dungeon. I do feel like some parts of the game have been made slightly easier. I swear the drop rates for a lot of things have been increased. I do feel like I'm getting more money as well. I feel a lot richer a lot earlier in the game. Not that money does that much, but especially with the addition of the quick transport pylons, which you can only get by making NPCs happy, perhaps they increase the amount of money you get so that those aren't out of reach. Like those are easy to acquire early game, whereas they might not have been otherwise. But whatever, it's there. I get more money. The only thing I've spent it on so far is pylons. I don't spend my money on anything else. Come on, no. Damn it, still haven't got another decent weapon yet. I mean, it's the one thing you really hope for. Yeah, there's another one. Odd place for a chest. Hey, a spear. Not great, but I'm going to replace my sword with that. Anything else good in here? Can of worms, just gives you worms. And nothing else worth mentioning. This does look like an area where I might find more chests, though. No, nothing down there. What about over this side? No. Alright. Up we go. Oh, for crying out loud. Yeah, don't mind the spears, they do a pretty good job. When you need to smack something. The boomerangs are good ranged weapons, but as you can see, if you miss catching the boomerang, it can be problematic because it takes too long to come back. That's where the yo-yo's better, because you can always recall a yo-yo. The weather effects are somewhat nicer as well. The sandstorm's about the same. You just pretty much can't see anything and have to walk either with or against the wind. The tumbleweeds are of course deadly, so don't go into the desert when the wind is up. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there were so many changes, but I think I kind of got used to a lot of them very quickly because I played it a lot in those first few days when it came out. Quick climbing claws. I already have climbing claws. What are mine? Fleeting. Well, quick is better than fleeting. Anything else good in there? No, not at all. But we can still go down because there's generally something in a room down here somewhere. There it is. Ignorant. Wow. Minus 14% damage. That's really bad. Anyway. Yeah, they don't need to be on there. These are good. See, I talked about this in one of my previous videos. The little Finchy. He sits on your head. It is, I think, pretty much the earliest summon one can get in the game. You could maybe get the blue slime one earlier, but that'd be pretty hard. It's not a highly likely thing to happen. I guess it's possible, but yeah, not a good chance of that occurring. Whereas the Finch, you've got a pretty good chance of finding him in one of these wood chests. See? Very little damage. And he misses a lot because of his flight pattern. But hey, he's there, and it didn't cost me anything. You know, like most summons once, you summon him once, and then forget. Ah, made it all the way to the beach. Alright, so I don't think I can get the angler. Oh, I can. What do you know? That's actually kind of surprising. I didn't think you could get the angler this early. I thought you had to do something else before you got him. But apparently not. And I can swim already. Haha, what a chest. Nothing really good anyway. We won't go any deeper now. It's a bit too early in the game to start worried about sharks and so on and so forth. Good time for a recall potion. Okay, quick stack some of this stuff to our nearby chests. Let's put out a couple more chests because I know we're going to need them anyway. Did I name my chests? Doesn't look like I've named my chests. Alright, what is this one? This is ores. So this will be ores and gems. What about this one? This one is an assortment of miscellany at the moment, so let's take the weapons out of it. That should come out. Daybloom can stay. These are special. And in here we will place any excess potions and potion-like ingredients. Well, somewhat potion-like ingredients. There are some things that are potion-like ingredients that I won't put in here. Things like, well, these mushrooms for a start. They're kind of potion-like. Oh, I did get a shackle. Nice, I'll put that on as well. But because they're used to make boss summoning items, they're kind of special, so they do something else. So we'll rename this potions and ingredients. Ingredia. Potions and stuff. I know what it means, that's fine. Alright, this will be all placeables. So that, we'll put the loom in there. Those doors can go in there. Anything else that's a placeable? That's kind of a placeable. Why do I have so much cactus anyway? I think my intent was to use that to make a sword and some better armor. But then I discovered that I'm pretty sure cactus armor is now the exact same as wooden armor? You know what? I'm going to look that one up on the wiki real quick. Bear with me just a moment. I know it's a better sword. Defense 1, defense 1. And you get a bonus of 1, so it's 3 plus 1, whereas now I've got 1, 2, 2 plus 1. So cactus armor is better. As is the cactus sword. Yeah, you'll notice the game pausing whenever I tab off, it pauses. So I will actually take that back out because I'm going to be using that. Anything else that's a placeable? No. Alright, rename placeables. Go back to the potion ingredients because I just spotted those bottles. This one will be, let's say, miscellaneous weapons and accessories that I'm not going to use. I've already got the thingy, so the grenades can go in there. Leaf wand, lemon wood wand, spare fleeting claws. Yep. Rename that to weapons, etc. And this rename to miss, because this is all just miscellaneous stuff. Small eye. Oops. Damn, I hate it when that happens. waste of a perfectly good recall potion. Later game, it's not such a big deal, because you can get yourself some... once you've got a magic mirror, it makes no difference. Alright, that's bait for now. It'll go in here. As will my cash for now, too. That's a weapon that should be in there, as should wooden arrows, because I don't use things with... what's the word? With ammo. Grab a bit more magic. Make ourselves some cactus armor and a cactus sword. 8. Very strong knockback. Yeah, because of the way... Let's do it like this. Because of the way swords swing, I'm going to want a sword. And then a full suit of cactus armor. It ain't easy being green, unless you're wearing cactus armor. Should take my defense from the 4 I was before to 5 now. That's good. And the rest of this can go in placeables. I will sell my cactus armor, even though no one will actually give me any money for it. Just as a way to get it out of my inventory. Now, let's see. Number of neighbors has me a little unsettled, so that's too many neighbors. Oh, and he doesn't like Miles the Angler at all. Yeah, so we're a little way away from getting the pylon then. This guy, if I remember correctly, likes to be underground. We haven't even started going down yet. And I don't really want to do that now, because that's kind of boring. Map. That looks like an interesting one, as does that. Do we go down this left one, or do we go down the right one? Let's go down the right one. Alright, so we'll go a bit further underground now, see what we can find. Maybe there'll be some good stuff. Hopefully you can get a few hearts. What else do I need? I guess weaponry. I should really be paying more attention to ores and things, because I don't have a lot yet. It's not like ores aren't important. It's another problem with, again, being really far in a different character. You forget how important something is. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ah, I hate those. Totally didn't see that one at all. Oh well. At least it's really close. Don't know why the moon's so pink. Has been for the last 2 nights. Super pink. Is that like an indication that there's a blood moon coming? I don't actually know. Alright, so we better get out that ore, even though it is just tin. I'm pretty sure that's tin. But we better grab it anyway. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like the spear. Good penetration. It hits through multiple things. Can you wear more than one shackle? No, you can't. Right, I think the other one was a plain shackle, so yes, we'll go with this shackle because it's actually got something on it. Might also... Nah, bit of spider webs. Oh, I do have a loom. I could go and get those spider webs and use them to make a yo-yo? I think you can. I'm not even sure. I think there's a craftable yo-yo. I don't remember. Not going to find out if I don't grab some spider webs. yeah, I think you just use cobwebs to make silk or make string, and then you can add that string to wood and you make your first yo-yo that way. I think. I could be wrong. Where was the damn plate? I don't see a plate here. Oh well. Wow. Bounced all the way down there. Yeah, that's a new biome that I haven't seen yet. I haven't gotten around to making one, but you can make graveyards by putting enough tombstones around the place. Breaking a tombstone summons a wraith or a ghost, so you don't necessarily want to do that too often, so I tend to leave them around the place, but I have had the intent of collecting a bunch of tombstones and actually making a graveyard. I haven't done it yet. There's supposed to be a few things you can do, like things you can craft only in a graveyard, but they do appear to mostly be like, not vanity items, but furniture and things that aren't obtainable. So stuff that normally when you try to pick them up they break instead of giving you the item. So yeah, not that interesting. Novel, certainly, but not interesting. So I haven't really gotten around to it yet. There didn't seem to be anything else that I could find in the wiki or anything that looked worth my while to go chasing after. So I wasn't going to bother making a graveyard that early in the game. We might make one in this one for the novelty, we'll see. Oh yes, I can swim now. Is that also lead there? It is, good. Which doesn't mean I can jump any higher, but oh, we can still get up that way. Aha, cool, that was high enough, good. Ah. Pretty much expected that to happen, but I was hoping it wouldn't. That's also lead. Let's grab that. Darn you, blue slime. Darn you to heck. Better not do that. Michael Jackson. Actually, it'll probably be back in... Almost said John Lennon. What's the... Paul McCartney. Should all be back in Paul McCartney's, or close to be back in Paul McCartney's control now. All the Beatles songs, amusingly, almost all of them, in fact I think all of them, were, during his life, owned by Michael Jackson. Paul McCartney owned the rights to all of Buddy Holly's stuff after he died, which was amusing. But yeah, Michael Jackson sort of left when his things became a certain age, I think it was. Then the rights reverted to Paul McCartney automatically. And I think they're slowly, like one by one, the Beatles songs are all slowly starting to come back into his control at the moment. I'm not exactly sure, but I do know that Michael Jackson owned the rights to all the Beatles stuff, which is why it was really hard to get certain Beatles things, and like there weren't many Beatles songs in movies and things like that. It was all apparently because Michael Jackson owned all the rights. And I don't know, I guess he wasn't very nice about it. It was really funny because he kind of told Paul McCartney, hey, you should, get into the buying the rights on music. It's a really lucrative venture, blah, 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 blah. And then he outbid Paul McCartney for all the Beatles music. Rather humorous situation. And I don't know, it's not like Michael Jackson was poor. It's not like he needed the Beatles music to make money or anything. I would have given it back to Paul McCartney, or, you know, sold it to him for at cost, or what he paid for it or something. But no, he hung on to it until after he died. And Paul McCartney's only now getting the rights back. I mean, you know, Buddy Holly was dead when Paul McCartney bought the rights to his songs. Admittedly, Buddy Holly probably left behind people who could have used that money, but, you know, solid business venture. You can only complain so much if someone's just, well, at the end of the day, they're just a better businessman than you. Tin. I'm probably not going to use the tin at all. That's probably the least useful. Alright, we seem to have gotten a bit stuck. Is there other ways to go down here? No, that's pretty much it for this little section, to be honest. We might go home and try that other one. Quick stack. Always good. Drop the lead ore, drop the tungsten ore. Actually, we'll change the tungsten ore. We'll change the ores, why not? Let's take all of this with us, you never know. Ah, yo-yo. Ah, you didn't even need to make it into string. Alright, yeah, yo-yo, because yo-yos are pretty good. Make a few tin bars. Make a few lead bars. Make a few tungsten bars. Right, not enough tungsten armor yet, and I think tungsten armor is kind of where I want to go. 35 pickaxe power versus 55 axe. Hammer's not important right now. It's kind of tempting. Nah, you can get by without it. Again, quick stack, drop the ores and bars in here. Potions and stuff. No, I don't have any other potion stuff. Placeables, yep. Got some clay blocks. Weapons, etc. Yep, that's a shackle. Cobwebs go in miscellaneous because it's more of a miscellaneous item than anything else. Dump the cash. Convert that coin just because. Go back to weapons. Get rid of the excess arrows. Got more healing potions than I need. Yep, that looks right. Oh, I do need to get rid of that weak wooden sword because I don't think that's going to do anything. Grab some more wood because we're probably going to need it soon enough, if not immediately. Could go down and get that tin, but again, it's tin. I'm probably not going to use it. I'm not going to use lead either. I might use tungsten. I might make tungsten armor. It kind of depends. I have more than once been able to beat the Eye of Cthulhu and the Eater of Worlds, Destroyer of Worlds, whatever he's called, with nothing more than wooden armor. And I'm wearing better than wooden armor now. I'm wearing cactus armor. Both of them are just about terrain preparation. You just have to prepare things right, and then those fights are actually really easy. Been meaning to do a proper tutorial, an actual scripted tutorial where I explain everything. At the moment I have a video up that is called a tutorial, but was back before I started recording voice even. I wasn't even using a microphone back then. I was just recording videos that were just me playing games with the game audio, and that was it. But now that I am committed to actually being on my videos as a real person that speaks to you, it might be time that I revisit that and build a real tutorial for some of the simpler boss arenas like the Eye of Cthulhu, the Brain of Cthulhu, the Eater of Worlds. Who else has a very simple arena? Oh, Skeletron. Skeletron's arena is pretty easy to make. It's very similar. Most of them are very similar. They all involve having platforms 6 spaces apart, which is the maximum standard jump height. And yeah, just having somewhere out of the way where you can not endanger your NPCs. You have enough space to fight. You're not going to run into other things. Yeah, relatively simple. It's not the most complex of arenas, any of them. And the reasons behind it are all very simple once you sort of understand what it is you're trying to accomplish. It makes perfect sense and it's real easy to do. So I think one of the things I could do is I could actually make another house over here, or more house over here, and then the angler would be far enough away from Gus that he wouldn't get so upset about it. Yeah, we won't worry about it. We might try and walk back over to the beach another time and build Gus a house, even though it's still pretty early in the game. Can't remember who lives with him at the beach, but I'm sure somebody else likes the beach. So yeah, the requirements for buying the pylon is the person who sells it, which is basically anyone within that biome. So for example, to buy the forest biome, you have to get someone who likes the forest. So in this case, Gus, the merchant, likes the forest. So he will sell the forest pylon, so long as his happiness is over a certain level, which means he must like, I think, at least one of his 2 neighbors. Shouldn't have more than 2 neighbors, and be in the right biome. If you accomplish all that, then they will begin to sell the pylon. Then you can buy the pylon from them for some amount of money, I forget how much, and once you've done so, if you then place it down in that biome, it will allow you to fast travel to and from it, so long as there are still 2 NPCs near it. Those NPCs don't need to be happy or anything, they just need to be NPCs and they need to be near enough to activate the pylon. So range on this yo-yo, very short. I wonder if I can upgrade that with anything. What else do I need to do? Oh yes. So, very simple Eye of Cthulhu arena. Now you don't need to build this above your house. It's best to simply build it somewhere where the Eye of Cthulhu isn't going to be interacting with your NPCs as well. Yes, they will help you out in the fight, but they will also more than likely die, which means you'll have to wait for them to respawn. It's not, you know, that big of a deal. It doesn't affect the game a huge amount, having to wait for them to respawn, but, you know, you have to wait for them to respawn, which means you might have to wait a whole day. If you need them now and they're not there, it's annoying. So your best bet is to make an arena somewhere where you are far enough out of the way of the NPCs. Now, you could go left or right on the map and build the arena, but I don't. I build the arena immediately above my house. One of the reasons I do that is because I'm eventually going to be building a staircase up to a high level of the map anyway, to build two things, one of which is a sky bridge, which is just a, well, Journey's End was the way people travelled around the map generally. You would use a sky bridge, which is just basically a bunch of platforms high up in the map's sky, and you would use that. They would just go from one end of the map to the other end of the map, and then you could run from one end of the map to the other end of the map without having to deal with the ground. But now, of course, with the addition of... Do I want to use dirt? Let's use wood. Now, of course, with the addition of the pylons, that's not as necessary as it used to be. So I don't know whether I will be making a sky bridge or not. But the second reason why you want to come up here... Actually, yes, I will be making a sky bridge, even if I'm not using it for transportation purposes. The second reason for making a sky bridge is to find sky islands. And the best way to do that is to get up to sort of the minimal level that they get to, which I believe is 650. I don't know whether that's in blocks or whatever, but you have to get a depth meter, climb to a level of 650 or higher. I recommend about 700 because you can see down to 50 sort of. And then, yeah, from that level, you will just continue left and right, making platforms all the way. And eventually you will be able to find a sky island that way. Why do you need sky islands? Well, harpy use feathers, I believe, have their use in hard mode, although I'm not actually sure what they are. And other than that, they're just really good for... you get red balloons, you can get the Star Fury, I believe it's called, which is just a really cool sword. Damn, I've been so busy talking to you guys, my coffee went cold. Let's see now. Been recording for about 50 minutes already. And you have seen me build one of these if you've watched my previous Terraria Let's Plays from before Journey's End. So, you know, this isn't the most important thing. And in fact, this is massive. You don't need to build the arena this big. You just need enough space to be able to dodge up and down one or two layers and a little bit of left and right, and that's about all you need to fight the Eye of Cthulhu. He's really not that hard of a boss so long as you know what you're doing. Now you can save on materials. In Terraria, your character is 2 blocks wide. Henceforth, you cannot fall into a 1-block gap. So you could do this and take out every second wooden platform, and you can still walk across that fine. But I'm not going to, because I'm lazy today. And because it is only wood, I can easily get more wood. Admittedly, at the beginning of the game, you might have, you know, it might be a while before you've got so much wood that you don't care anymore, but at some point in the game, you're going to have so much wood that you don't care anymore. So I'm going to assume like I've already reached that point, and we'll just waste some wood. It's really not a big deal. It's just wood. Can always get more. Used to actually be one of my, well, not my favourite joke, but I used to find it quite amusing. There was a comedian called Ed Byrne, who was Irish, I believe. Don't think he was Scottish. He had a joke about teeth. Who cares about teeth? You can always buy more. Not exactly true, but he did have somewhat of a point. I'd rather take care of, you know, my bones and my eyes. Teeth, yeah, you can get false teeth, and, you know, you can do things that sort them out so that you don't have to think about it and not worry about it, and it doesn't hurt anymore, or whatever it was doing before that. Yeah, bones, eyes, don't know what else. I'm sure other things as well. I'm just not, that just aren't occurring to me at the moment. Oh, I haven't summoned my birdie. Completely forgot about my little bird. It's not the most useful thing in the world, but hey, might as well have a little birdie if you can have a little birdie. Now I do want to light this arena up a bit as well. Ah yes, so you'll note that of course I'm now high enough up as well that zombies and things can spawn because I'm far enough away from the local NPCs. The music just changed then. So I believe that on this bottom level I'm not far enough away from the NPCs. But if I go up here, the music changes back, and I am far enough away from the NPCs. But that's okay. I'm far enough away that Eye of Cthulhu, should he spawn and I be in this arena, will not be close enough to attack the NPCs. He should be focused immediately on me. I'm not even sure if he does attack the NPCs. It might be only incidental damage that kills them in the few times that they do get killed by Eye of Cthulhu. But nonetheless, I try to avoid it wherever possible. Why are my feet blue? What am I wearing on my feet? Oh yes, flippers. Alright, I should really have a campfire both here just because nice to have one at home. And then we put another one up here in the little soon-to-be Eye of Cthulhu arena, because the extra health regen, however small it might be, does help. I'm sure I heard a star land, and I don't see one. Maybe it despawned when I went up high. Oh well. It would actually have been really nice to have had something extra special to show you, like an Eye of Cthulhu battle, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen today. Oh, it might. I may have enough lenses in the miscellaneous box. No, 3 is not enough. I think it's 6. Let's go see if we can farm enough lenses to get an Eye of Cthulhu fight before we call it a day. Even if we lose. We might lose. We might not, but we might lose. So I'm going to start a platform that just runs this way a little bit. Oh, no I'm not. Because I don't need that anymore. See, normally I would make my sky platform at whatever level I was sort of at the top of, well, this, my Eye of Cthulhu arena. And the reason I would do that is because I would actually need to travel this early in the game, but that's going to bug me. I need to replace those bits of wood because I accidentally hit them earlier. Ow. But yeah, now you don't need it anymore because you've got pylons, so the only reason for me to make an Eye of Cthulhu arena now, Skybridge now, is when I'm looking for sky islands, and well, they're way, way further into the sky than this, so there's really no point making one at such a low level. Did I get a lens? I didn't get any lenses. I was going to make a small skybridge, like not very far, but just a little bit away from home, because that's a good way to get, what's-his-face, the eyes to spawn. But oh well. Oh, and all these shooting stars, none of them are falling on here. So that's another thing that I almost said an eye bridge, a sky bridge will do, is it most, if not all, of the shooting stars will fall on your sky bridge, and then you can just go and collect them with ease. Alright, I'm going to go back down again because I want these stars. I still need magic. I only have 140. I believe 200 is the standard maximum you can get without equipment and stuff. And that's really not a lot of stars. And once you've got 200, then you can spend your fallen stars on other things. I'm trying very hard to recall what those other things are right now, and nothing's coming to mind, but Oh yeah, you can make a star lantern. That's good. Similar to the campfire, except for mana. Lets you passively regenerate mana. Very useful. Where did his stuff land? Oh well. Still no more lenses. Alright, they seem to be spawning pretty good here, so maybe I won't bother going back up there. I'll hang around down here instead and hope for more lenses. I haven't even gone underground in the corruption yet either. So we're going to have to do that to find an altar. Unless I get lucky and find an altar elsewhere. Sometimes you do. Can be good to know where there's an altar that isn't underground in the corruption or the crimson, depending on which world you're in. That's another lens. I think that's 5 now. Which means we're still a little bit shy, but we're getting close. Getting a bit overrun here. Yeah, pretty close to death there. And that'll do it. Dagnabbit. Silly eyes. Alright, so maybe not this video, but maybe we'll start the next video immediately with a Eye of Cthulhu fight, or at least heading towards an Eye of Cthulhu fight, i.e. having the ingredients ready, making our way into the bottom of the crimson, wherein one can find, yeah, that'll definitely do it, got enough lenses now, wherein one can find an altar, and with said altar create the item that summons the Eye of Cthulhu, and then immediately we'll come back and wait for night and fight the Eye of Cthulhu. But for now, we're going to have to call it there, folks. Not the most eventful day or the most productive day, but hey, we got the angler, got an Eye of Cthulhu arena, we found the beach, we found the snow biome, several bits of desert, we know where the dungeon is. We got a finch summoning staff, which is pretty cool. So yeah, not too bad. So thanks again for watching. If you like this video, hit that button. If you would like to see more of this content, hit that subscribe button. Makes it nice and easy to find the channel. If you want to get notifications, hit that bell icon. And if you didn't like this video, hit that dislike button. That's what it's for. But if you do hit the dislike button, I really would appreciate it if you'd let me know why, what it was about the video you didn't like. Maybe I can do something about it. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you again in the next one.